Welcome to the monthly DevSync of the Flatcar Container Linux project. The DevSync is a opportunity for maintainers to talk about their work, to plan their work, and for users, developers, and contributors to drop by and talk about their favorite issue, their favorite PR. So this is very technology focused. First, I want to share some happy news. We passed the vote of the Technical Oversee Committee recently of the CNCF, and Flatcar is now a CNCF incubating project. We're honored to be at that spot. So this now is a CNCF project meeting. Welcome everybody. And as is tradition for CNCF meetings, this meeting will adhere the CNCF Code of Conduct, which basically means be nice to each other. That said, giving the word to Cyan to conduct the DevSync.
Thank you, Thilo. So I'll share my screen. Actually, I'll do the screen. Yes. So yeah, so this is the agenda. So the first thing on the agenda, so we did not have this news thing, but yeah, we should have edited the Flatcar getting into the CNCF. But moving on to the monthly contribution, I'll hand it over to Thilo, so you can take over.
Thanks. We're playing ping pong today. Yeah. Oh, thank you. So the most interesting thing in the monthly contributor metrics that I like to look at is the percentage of new contributors to the project, and it should be right there. We have almost 30% of contributors are new contributors to the project. So that is really amazing. Thank you everybody in the community to have this kind of traction. So this is great to see. Very, very happy about it. Other than that, we have the usual discussion metrics. Things are pretty quiet over the summer weeks and months. So everybody seems to be on vacation. Not many new discussions and not much traction on existing discussions. And that includes the office hours and DevSync agendas. Advisories, this is interesting. Can we go up and see if we have any advisories that we've closed? All right, so we have new advisories on curl, Podman, Docker, and Go. Oh, we closed the Go advisory. That's awesome. This one was open for quite a long time.
Yes.
Very nice. And then I don't know what RE2C is, but this advisory has been open for 414 days. I don't think it was very severe, given the time.
Can I interrupt? Sorry.
Yes, please, go ahead.
It was a part of SDK, so
okay.
It wasn't really a big deal.
I was suspecting as much, but we closed 6 advisories. That's great, and we currently have open advisories 11. So we're gonna work on those and see if we can close those in time. Security folks, anything like noteworthy on those advisories? Anything you want to chat about?
So
one thing I want to do is LibYAML. So that was open for a few weeks, and now it has critical security, but right now we don't have to do anything because upstream maintainer did not think it would be a vulnerability at all. So there is a still discussion ongoing, and there has been no release since 4 years. So we just wait. That's it.
Oh.
Cool. All right.
Also, there was the Linux firmware issue that was raised in the last meeting. I don't know why it's not there. Possibly I didn't follow the right process, but yeah, we merged the fix for that. It was the AMD microcode.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
the issues listed here, they have a tag advisory. So if you take an issue with that, it should pop up here.
Got it. Thanks.
Yes, we did not create the issue for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was just the automation, like created a pull request for firmware update and just merged it. So you are too fast.
Which is beautiful, I think.
Yes, the release happened probably of starting of this month, and then it just the CI happened after the next day after our office hours. But yeah, anyways, that's more thanks to Chewy on taking that up. I think that's it from the. Yeah, as mentioned, like it's mostly quiet over the summer weeks. So yeah, cool. And I guess this would be a repeat thing. So Dongsu, anything else you would like to add, or we are good with this on the
No.
security side?
That's it.
Cool. So again, back to you, Thilo. So with the roadmap.
Yeah, not many changes in the roadmap. The thing is, I think we pushed roadmap items a little too hard in the late 2023, early 2024, and we just need to catch our breath a little and work on technical backlog. So I don't expect much traction here, except for the TPM secure boot workstream on which we're currently focusing. But I think Cyan and Shui, you've been looking into this, right?
Correct. So on the just to give, I guess I did not see him. So Matthew did not join the call because he has some other work, but I guess he will update it on the discussions directly for the status update on the composable OS and the vendors that we have added. So we can probably skip those for this meeting and head over to the secure boot. I'll open this one. Yes. So over the last few weeks, we enabled secure boot tests in the CI. Those were working perfectly, as mentioned before, except for two tests. We'll probably have more secure boot test so that we can do more in-depth testing. The next work that we have been doing is we tested for trusted launch as well, which works fine. The machine booted up fine with our developer images, and currently we are preparing shim for our signing. That would include work with grub as well as shim. Before I move into shim, I will hand over the mic to Chewy because he's handling the work on grub. So Chewy.
Yep. So Cyan asked me to see because Red Hat have this sort of fork of Grub, and we wanted to sort of compare and see what patches they had. I haven't looked at individual patches yet. This was just a quick look, but it's a lot messier than I expected. So it's all based on the Fedora version. Until Fedora 41, which is the next version, they've been based on 2.06, and now they've jumped to 2.12. And every patch set they've done for each release of Fedora has been based on 2.06. Even now, even the one based on 2.12 is actually a series of patches from 2. No, wait, sorry, that's not right. Sorry. No, recently they switched to 2.12. But yeah, Fedora 40 was still based on 2.06, and there's like hundreds of patches. So current count, I think, is 272 patches. So we could just take those, all of them. Or maybe we could pick and choose, or maybe we don't need any of them. I need to discuss with Cyan, I think, exactly which ones look useful.
Yes, so this is probably something will chime in Jeremy as well, because as Jeremy commented on this is what triggered that work. So when we were trying upgrading from 2.02 to 2.06, we ended up, so there was this Linux CFI module which we dropped, one of the patches we dropped, and it seems that right now it's creating an issue with missing TPM event law. So maybe what we can do, so basically there are two options here. One is like, or rather three. I mean, we can pick all the patches from the this repo, or we can just pick up the patches which is related to the Linux CFI, or like we can selectively again look at patches we need and then move to it. So yeah, we need to discuss on that. But yeah, I think the only thing that would require the work, I mean, the reason we are looking into this is basically like the missing TPM event lock access.
Yeah, I think a lot of their patches are just noise, like renaming it from grub to grub2 and stuff, which we don't care about. So yeah, being selective might be a good idea.
Also, if we pick up, we also carry a bunch of patches on our end, so we will need to apply those as well. So okay, so let's see on that. And on the work that I've been doing, so I've been primarily looking onto setting up the signing infrastructure, and I did some trial runs with the P sign and the SB sign. uh, and right now things are kind of half-baked, but over the next few days I'll be preparing. So there's essentially, you would need to um, uh, there's this shim review repo that you need to create along with a bunch of questions that the shim reviewers ask. So my goal would be to answer those questions and create a reproducible build for them, which they will end up reviewing. So that's the idea for the next few weeks. uh, cool. That's mostly from my side on the secure boot. uh, is Daniel here?
No, Danielle couldn't make it today. I am actually filling in for her. CNCF, yeah. The vote passed. We're CNCF incubating project now. We'll probably be a little more present at the CNCF conferences, at least the larger ones, because projects get to have, I don't know, a booth or maintainer days. So watch the KubeCon announcements and see if you find any Flatcar events there. There should be. All right. I do have actually an update for Mathieu, since he left his work results from the last month. So that's Composable OS. And so first of all, we now support yet another cluster API provider, which is awesome. The Linode provider now supports Flatcar with the SysExt approach, and it was released in the latest cluster API Linode provider version, and we're all very happy about that. And some cluster API OpenStack work is ongoing. So we want to replace the legacy image builder approach with the Flatcar SysExt approach in OpenStack, because everyone in OpenStack uses the Flatcar SysExt approach anyways. It's way more practical. So we'll basically kick out the old image builder approach there. New vendors and platforms. The latest stable release in August adds support for Hetzner, KubeVirt, and Scaleway. And we've added Hetzner CI. We added Hetzner tests to the CI. So we'll now be able to run our full-blown test suite on Hetzner for every release. And that's going to be awesome. The final step for Hetzner that is still open is to submit Flatcar to the Hetzner marketplace, so you can deploy directly and you don't need to create your own snapshots. We had a few demos of Hetzner provisionings actually on FroshCon. That's very seamless and very fast, and we're very happy with the support.
Great. Thank you, Thilo, for the update. Moving on to the next thing on the agenda, that is releases. So I think, like, as it's been a quite a month, so most of the updates that happened was with the work that Chewy and Krejimir has been doing. So do you want to update on that, Chewy, Krejimir?
Krezimir could go first.
Sure. I mean, I was mostly working on the weekly update, so there isn't much to report. This is basically some line work. But another thing I was working on was moving towards the merged user file system layout. So it's currently running in CI, and I hope it works. It's just the first step towards switching to Gentoo merged user profile and towards switching to Gentoo base layout. So we could have one modification left, but this is a bit more work. And also it unblocks an update for systemd 256 because I think it dropped the support for the split user thing. But this is something that Adrian was working on. So once this page layout work that I was currently doing is done, then I think it will be enough to unblock Adrian to work on the systemd update. Yeah, I think this is the mostly relevant thing. So I also have some small things that I wanted to ask you. So we have updated Docker to some newer version. I think it's 26 now. And the Docker build command is now printing the deprecation message that, well, it's probably not that it is deprecated to use Docker build without the buildx plugin. So I have added a pull request and it's ready for review. But Chewy raised a question whether this thing should be a part of the generic image. I don't have a clear answer, but I would love to hear some opinions about it because I don't know what to do with the pull request. Either close it or continue or merge it. My opinion would be to keep it in the generic image because Docker build was always like a part of Docker, which we distribute with the generic images too. But yeah, I'd love to hear some more about that. And also there are some other pull requests that I would like to receive some reviews for some smaller items. So whenever you have a time, that please have a look at the open pull request at the scripts repo. Yeah, just see if maybe there's something that needs a review. Yeah, so that's all from me. Chewy?
Okay, yep, I've been working on various different things. One was to look at the issue of slow boots with the Pixie and ISO images. They were waiting around to decrypt the root file system if necessary, but if you didn't have a root file system, it would just wait for 90 seconds before booting. So that's all fixed. Related to that is something I'm going to be looking at is embedding the ignition JSON into the ISO, which is something a few people have been asking for, and tend to do it the same way that CoreOS does it. There's been a general theme of moving stuff towards Gentoo packages. So we did this for the Rust package, which had a nice side effect of massively speeding up our SDK builds. I've been looking again at the ARM64 SDK stuff. So I need to remove any automatic reliance on QEMU to execute the ARM64 binaries. So there were two packages in particular that were still relying on that. One was Open iSCSI, which I've moved to the Gentoo package and bumped, but I need to do some testing on that. iSCSI is not something I've ever tried before. And the kernel image, the Dracut RD generation, it's now possible to generate that without relying on QEMU at all. So you point at a sys root and it picks up the files from where you want. But there was a little bit of side work that needed to be done around that. So I've been discussing that with some Gentoo folks. And yeah, hopefully after that we can get the ARM64 stuff in. Yeah, that was most of what I've been doing. So back to
Yeah,
you,
I just
Cyan.
wanted to add. So one thing that I'm quite happy to have almost finishes that almost like the entirety of the portage table is under automation. So there is one issue about the technical debt issue that you have, like about automating portage table. So there is only one item left to do, but this is like really close. So that's something that has been brewing for 2 years, I think. So yeah.
Yep, be good to have that merged in.
Yes.
Back to you, Cyan.
Yeah. Rajmi, can you post that link to the Docker PR maybe in the matrix or here?
On the matrix.
And yeah, or maybe in the chat. Matrix would be like we can continue the discussion there.
All right. Yeah.
Thilo, do you want to talk about the ZFS thing that you have been working on?
This is a minor thing, and it sent me down a rabbit hole. That was interesting. So I basically just tried to rebuild the latest alpha tag. And that should be really, really fast because we publish all of the binary packages alongside with every release. So rebuilding an alpha basically just means downloading those packages and installing them. And I noticed a build error with ZFS. So ZFS kmod, when installed from the bin package and not built, doesn't have an explicit dependency to the kernel package. And then it fails figuring out which kernel version is running or is installed in the system it's going to be installed to. And that makes the ZFS kernel version compatibility check fail. While fixing that, I noticed two other breakages with bin package builds. One of them exclusively affects the current alpha. So I fixed it there. That one's merged today. Then there's another one where some build IDs mismatch again at a later point in time. I took care of that in June already, so I knew where to look. There's a PR up now, which I'll merge in a second. And that needs to get backported to stable, beta, and alpha release branches. It basically just fixes if you want to rebuild exactly this release tag before you do anything else, and you run into an issue. All of these are race conditions, so it's a chance that you run into those or not. But yeah, so I wrapped those up, and I plan to have everything merged, I think, by the end of the week. Tests are currently running again because we're protecting the main branch. So all tests need to pass. But yeah, it's very fine.
Great. Cool. Next, if we talk of the releases, so we would be planning a release soon for the first week of September, and we would be doing a major alpha and a stable beta release along with a maintenance stable release, and this would basically include all the fixes that we did over the last 1 month. So yeah, and yeah, that's mostly for the releases. Anything, folks, you want to add? That's need to mention for the releases. Hi, Rick. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? So basically, any fix that goes through alpha, and then on the next release gets promoted to beta, and then on the next release gets promoted to stable, or how does that work?
No, just major version bumps need to pass this. Say if we're updating a Docker version or a systemd version or stuff like that. Fixes usually get backported to all active maintenance channels. So if we find breakage in alpha or in beta, and it happens to also affect stable, then it's gonna be backported to stable. Issues that only affect specific branches are fixed right in these branches, alpha, beta, or stable, depending on where they were found. So fixes usually go in the next patch level release.
Okay, nice. I mean, obviously, I'm not asking without self-interest, right? So
No, I mean,
Normal.
this makes sense. I mean, sometimes we have like a major change that needs to trickle down just because it might be disruptive to existing workloads. But in terms of bug fixes, that is extremely rare.
Okay, cool.
Anything else, folks, you want to add? If not, then I'll check the last. I'll check the agenda. So yeah, that's mostly it. Yeah, I think we are done here. I can open the floor for any discussions you want to do. If not, then we can end the meeting here. Cool. I think that's a wrap. That's a wrap. So let's meet you folks in the office hours next month. Till then, see you. See you on Metrics. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.